Good morning, or good morning, good morning. Don't worry, I muted my mic, Ibrahim, so that's why you can't hear a thing. I've not started yet, but I will soon proceed. I'm trying to set up. Okay, good morning. So today, like I said, we are going to look at something different because of time. We'll just see how to use data sets to predict outcomes today. So if you remember yesterday, I talked about NumPy, I talked about pandas. That was basically my class yesterday, NumPy and pandas. And like I told you, NumPy I use for, what like the name implies, numerical Python. And you always have to import it before you you can use it, right? It's a library, it's a very important library in Python. As you can see here, the first library I'm importing is NumPy as NP. That's how you write it. You import pandas as PD. I said from pandas, import series. And these are all part of pandas. Yesterday we looked at series and data frames. Data frames are just basic tables, right? We didn't look at Matplotlib, PyPlot, Seaborn. We didn't look at all this. These are all visualization tools. Matplotlib.pyplot as PLT and Seaborn as SNS. These are all visualization tools for Python. Scikit-learn, sklearn, scikit-learn is a machine learning algorithm, right? That we use to work with our data sets. So you can see I have sklearn dot pre-processing import label encoder. I have my train test splits. I have my logistic regression. I have my linear. This is not actually needed. I can comment this. I don't really need that one. Logistic regression. I have my accuracy score, confusion metrics, and all that. So if you're to look at all this, right, these are all libraries in Python. Early classes, we talked about supervised and unsupervised learning algorithms. These are all the processes you will learn, you have to look at while developing a model or trying to optimize a model because logistic regression is more like a binary classification. It's used for categorical data, meaning that I have a yes or a no option, right? This is a binary classification, yes or no option that says we're looking for the number of banked and unbanked people. It's actually a yes or no. Is someone banked? Yes. If someone unbanked, no. So if we're going to be looking at logistic regression, please our advice, if you have time, you can read on I think you've done it already. Supervised and unsupervised learning. So we have supervised learning algorithms, which are, let's just do something here. So we have supervised learning algorithms. Let me just share this part. These supervised learning algorithms are use labeled data to train models, predict outcomes, and recognize patterns. Now, like I always say that this is actually the beginning or the first step in what AI for you to learn. For if you can train a model to be able to do something for you, what you have done, you have actually successfully created an artificial intelligence system, right? A system that recognizes patterns in certain this thing that you're doing. So, example of supervised learning, we have a random forest, which is a collection of decision trees that are combined to reduce variance and increase accuracy. We have key nearest neighbor, which classifies a new object by examining its distance from the nearest neighbor of training samples. We have logistic regression, which predicts the probability of an outcome, event, or an observation. Support vector machine, used to solve classification and regression tasks, especially binary classification problems, of which logistic regression too can solve binary problems. We have naive Bayes, uses principles of probability to perform classification tasks such as text classification and all that. On the other hand, we also have what they call unsupervised learning. You also have what they call unsupervised learning. Oh, okay. We have what they call unsupervised learning, which is used to analyze data without labeled outputs. They can be used to find patterns in data, group data, or in clusters and more. So we have example, we have clustering, we have association rule, dimension reduction, hierarchical clustering. Now, just for example, now I'll give an example of unsupervised learning. In the supermarket, you want to get those that buy bread more, right? That's actually unsupervised because there is no specific label data. Why am I saying this? People that buy bread might also buy milk, might also buy Milo, and all those things. So at the end of the day, it's like there is a cluster there of people buying bread. They are still buying. So there'll be like a mixture. They'll be mixed. People buying bread will still be mixed with those buying Milo, those buying other maybe pastries and all that. So you now have to find a way using unsupervised learning, using one of the algorithms to like bring them out. But for starting, we are going to look at the supervised learning algorithms, which are for labeled data. So in this case, we're going to have a data set. We're going to have a data set, and in that data set, we're going to have different features. right? We're going to have different features. I told you to get data sets. We can go to kaggle.com, right, for the purpose of this study. We'll go to kaggle.com. I believe you can see my screen. So go to kaggle.com, right? If you like, you can sign up. You can sign in. I already have an account, so you can sign in. For your information, Kaggle is actually owned by Google. Google is the owner of Kaggle. It helps you get. I mean, if you ask me, I think you should make this your friend because of the time we've had. We've not really hit the point. But I believe with proper research, you can actually go ahead to finish up. So if you look here, there's a column for data sets. There's a column for data sets. So if you look at this, it's a deodorant data set, top brand in India. If we open this now, you say about data set. This data set contains deodorants available in India. It includes information about top brands such as Engage, Fog, Nivea, Denver, and more. The data set features details like product name, category, menu unisex, fragrance type, volume, price, long-lasting hours, alcohol content, skin friendliness, antiperspirant properties, customer ratings, reviews, and all that. If you read that, you can see all that. So now look at this. We have data sets here. Can you see data set? Deodorant dataset.csv. So if we click here, we can download it, right? So about the data set, you can see the features about the data set, as you can see, right? Has 20 here. They say one file, 21 columns. So if you really for study's sake, after the data card, there's what they call the code, right? If you click on that code, you'll see people that have worked on this data set. And let's open it and see. Let's look at this first guy and see. So he's using, if you look at it, the notebook, it's a notebook deodorant, some brands in India. So it's still loading. So if you look at this now, line one, this is Python twin environment, import NumPy as NP, import pandas as PT, which I showed you, import OS and all that. Imported libraries, look at this, import NumPy as NP, pandas as PD, matplotlib.pyplot as PLT, then import Seaborn as SNS. So this is him importing his libraries, right? Then file path, this is the file path for him. Then dfpd.read, this is him now reading this thing into his. Yeah, so these are the things we're going to look at, right? But for me, I'm not probably like I said, if you want to work on this, that's why I said it, if you want to get data sets, you either go here, you either go to Kaggle, which is this. You go to Kaggle, any specific let's go back, let you see. Sorry, give me a minute. I'm trying to go back to okay, let me just click here. Data sets. So if you look at all data sets, computer science, education, classification, computer vision, NLP, data visualization, and all that. So if you look at this, we have different, look at it, it's a thyroid cancer risk data set. These are very interesting data sets, right? We have music, type of diamond, Spotify streaming history, Discogs, data sets, supermarket sales, transaction banking, data for banking operations. So all these are various data sets that we have. And one interesting thing about dealing with with machine learning is that once you have a data set, once you have a data set, it always comes in CSV file. That means you can open it in Excel, right? You can open it in Excel. That's just by the way. I just wanted to show you where you can get data set. Another one I talked about the last time I showed you Zindi.Africa. Zindi. Zindi.Africa is another place where you can get data sets. Zindi.Africa, right? Zindi.Africa. So if you look at it, Indaba X Equatorial Guinea, they are doing a hackathon for 100,000 CFA. So I mean, this one 15,000 USD, right? So here, this is Zindi.Africa. This Zindi.Africa, we actually have oh, I've forgotten my username. I can't really get into it. Probably when I have time, I'll sort that out. So you can get data sets here. If you go to compete, so these are all data sets. Mapping, they see in data, mapping floods in South Africa. These are all competitions. These are all competitions. But that's just by the way. So let's come back here. Let's come back to what we are doing. So what I'm working on, basically, let me show you what I'm working on. What I'm working on basically is so I have a problem statement here. They say financial inclusion remains one of the main obstacles to economic and human development in Africa. For example, across Kenya, Rwanda, Tanzania, and Uganda, only 9.1 million adults, or 14% of adults, have access or use commercial bank account. The objective here, right? The objective of this competition is to create a machine learning model to predict which individuals are most likely to have or use a bank account. The models and solutions developed can provide an indication of the state of financial inclusion in Kenya, Rwanda, Tanzania, Uganda, while providing insights in some of the key factors driving individuals' financial security. This is actually a very simple problem because we have a data set containing these four countries, and they want us to predict those, right? Like if you look at this part of the objective, it says the objective is to create a machine learning model to predict which individuals are most likely to have or use a bank account. There are two things here. You can have a bank account. One, that model will capture you. Then you using your bank account as well will also something that will capture. So we're going to look at this data importation, right? Data importation. This is actually the first step. Good morning. We start our analysis by importing necessary libraries and data sets, which I said before you use any machine learning library or Python library, you have to import basic libraries. So in this case here, like I told you yesterday, these are my libraries I'm going to import. Let me comment this out. These are the libraries I'm going to import. Like I said, if we talked about pandas and numpy yesterday, if you don't have these things, you have to install them, right? And I kind of showed a way of installing it. Showed you a way to install it, right? For you to install, you use this pip install. Pip install, right? If I want to install pandas, I'll say pip install pandas, right? So when you run it, it will go through your system. If you have it like mine, I already have it. The requirement is already satisfied. If you want NumPy, it's the same thing. Pip install whatever you want to install. Pip install, pip install Seaborn. Pip install Seaborn, which is a data visualization library for Python. So it's telling me that requirement already satisfied. Most of this, if you most times if you have Python installed in your computer, these libraries automatically come to you. But just in case you don't have it, this is how you install pip install, right? Pip install Seaborn, pip install pandas, pip install whatever you want to install. So these are my libraries. I've imported my libraries here, right? These are my libraries. So the first step here, I'll import my libraries. Import my libraries here. So when I do that, these are my libraries I'm installing. I'm importing. Import NumPy as NP for my numerical processes. Import pandas as PD so that I can get a data frame. From pandas, import series, comma, data frame. These are all components of Python. Matplotlib.pyplot as PLT when you want to plot certain graphs or certain for it's for visualization. Like I said, Matplotlib, SNS are both visualization libraries. sklearn, that is now our machine learning algorithm. Scikit-learn, scikit-learn dot pre-processing, import label encoder. That's what they call label encoder. It is used to convert categorical data into numerical data. We now have train test split. It is advisable, right? When you have a data set, you don't use the whole data set to run your algorithm. You divide the data set. Let us say you have a data set of 100,000 records. That's actually, it might not be a lot, right? But it's actually much. It's advised that you divide the data set into two using an approach where either you're using 80 to what 20 or 70 to what 30. But so far so good. The best you always have to use more to train, right? Because if you train someone and he understands what you're teaching him, when it comes to write test, he will give you a good result. You understand? That's why they advise you use more of the data set to train, while you now use the other part to what test. So that's where we bring our train test split.
What was split in the
What it means that you're splitting the data set into two. That's what it means. Train test. You have data set, right? You're splitting it. You want to split it into two. So first of all, we are going to see all that. We're going to when we split it, you see that we're either splitting at a certain percentage. That's 0.7 to 0.3 or 0.8 to 0.2.
well, the standard is 80/20, right?
You can use 80/20, but don't ever go below 70/30. If you use 60/40, it's almost the same. It's almost like 50/50. Shey you get. But like I said, if you notice in every school, they spend more time teaching, right? Just come and write assessment. They just put a week for first assessment, second assessment, then exam. But they give you assignments in between,
Yes.
right? But they spend more time teaching you. Like in a normal secondary school setting, I think a term lasts for 13 weeks, right? So the 12, 13 weeks. So they can use probably close to, apart from the test, even on the test week, they are still teaching you. You understand? Computers are still teaching you. So they use more time to train you than to test you. The test just come, okay, let us see whether what we're teaching you if understood. And Mr. Anas, you must not, it's not a sequential order, right? You can import anyone you want to import first. But the idea is that just import your library because without those libraries, you cannot proceed. So let me run this code. Let us see. So it's loading. So it's loading. So the same matplotlib is building the font cache. This may take a moment. Mm, hello? Yeah, I'm already on campus. I have a class today now. Anything? Okay, come now. Okay, sorry about that. So now it has finished, right? Once you see this, once you see a number here, it shows that my code has finished compiling. So I've imported my
Libraries.
my libraries. The next thing to do
Just to import the data set.
is to load my data set, right? Which is this. I'll load my data set, right? Let me put it in this. I'll load my data set. So how do I load my data set? I yesterday because of time I could and I was actually having headache. I didn't really show you how to import a data set. A data set is a data frame, right? It's a data frame. A table is a data frame. That's it can be called a data frame. So let me just show you. uh Is it this? No, it's not this. Data science. Not this. So these are my. If you look here, I have a test here. I have a train, right? You understand? Now there's a way it works. Why I divided my data set into two, right? Is that once I'm done training with this one, right, I will test with the other one.
So you manually split.
Yeah, you can manually split, but
I think you're going to do it.
you manually split. No, I'm not splitting now. You manually split, but in your code, you will also specify that this is the percentage you have used to train. I don't know if you get me. We're going to see that.
Okay.
You see the percentage you have used to train, then you're going to use the percentage to what? Test. You understand? So now this is my. So these are my. I can show you where it is in my computer. If I go to my documents, where I saved it. If you look at this, see my test, see my train, right? All these are the ones I worked with. Now, this sample submission tells me how I'm to submit. It was a competition we were doing, financial inclusion. Tells me how I should submit it, right? Then variable definitions. It defines my variables for me. So let's just quickly run this. Train, right, is equal to PD. This is how you impute it into your notebook. Train, I call that my train data set, I call it train. That's the name of the variable. Train is equal to, look at the code, pd.read_csv, right? Then I'll now pass the name of my what? Data set in parentheses and what? Quotation mark, single quotation mark, right? Now, why I can do this is because my data set and my notebook that I'm working with are in the same folder. If they're not in the same folder, I'll now have to start finding a path. I'll now start finding the path where I saved it. But please,
I did class.
so that I don't confuse yourself, always put the notebook you're working with and your data set in that same folder. It will be easy for you to work with, right? So I have PD, look at the syntax, please. pd.read_csv, then you now pass the name of your data set in parentheses, right? So I've loaded my train data set. The next one, I'm loading my test data set using the same format, pd.read_csv test data set. Then SS, which is my subsample submission, then my variable name. So let us run this. So we can view the data set now.
Okay, wait,
Sample
wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are the things because of the data set. These are the things you're supposed to declare first before.
You declare them, you have to import them. Someone said my screen is not moving. And I think it's oh, or it's a network. Oh. think the network is what caused that little issue.
Is there any physical class today? No, still at home.
Can you hear me now?
Imagine somebody asking, is there any physical class?
All right. So I believe my screen is up now. Can you see my screen? Please, those online, if you can see my screen, let's know so that. All right. So this importing my train data set, my test data set, and like I said, the sample variable is what our submission for this. Sample submission is what our our submission was supposed to look like when we are done, right? Then VD, which is variable definition, just the name implies, defines our variable. Okay, thank you, Mr. Anas. So having run that, let us view it. If you want to view
The variable definition is also for probably you're working with other people so they can have an idea what
variable definition, we have
like probably I want to
don't worry,
use
we'll see it. Don't worry, I will.
variable definition.
These people and their light.
Telling you, you can burn somebody's system.
Okay, sorry, please. The light is out. The people that are watching, people that will come across this our videos probably in the long run.
You should be able to edit it now, right? Cut some
The
parts.
funny thing is live.
It's live now.
It's live. It's
And you can
not.
edit live.
You can't edit live.
That's interesting. YouTube need to do something about that.
That's why you're in AI, you're in machine learning. So train a machine that can do that.
Okay, so please let's wait a minute. Let them bring the light because those here cannot even see because the screen is blank. So let us exercise patience. Probably the light will.
So you can be talking to us.
Yeah, we are listening.
Okay. All right. So, all right. The light is back. Variable definition is just like the variables we are using. We're just defining them. You understand? As I say, it's very self-explanatory.
I'm asking this question because normal we don't do that. So now it's strange. Right?
Just like I
Why
said.
it's straight because
I don't know why we are doing that.
Just like I said, in a normal machine learning or a normal modeling that you're doing like this,
Okay.
the only thing you need are your
Just
what?
test.
Your train and your test.
Okay.
Any other thing is an add-on. Like I told you, this was for a complete. Just like when you're teaching a student, yeah, you now come and say probably note. This means this. This means this. You give them key to certain things. Maybe you're using abbreviation BPO. NB BPO means business process outsourcing. This means that's basically what the variable definition is.
Okay.
Then you now tell the student that to submit, before you submit, make sure you write your full name, the name of the course you are, and the date. Then answer each question according to the number. That's a sample submission. You understand? Your name, your whatever, all those your details, write it. Then make sure that some teachers don't mind. You can answer number 5 and number 1. Some can tell you answer these questions in an orderly manner. Number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. That's sample submission.
Okay.
That's sample submission. Okay, so we're back. So I've already run this. I've run this specific cell, right? So basically, that's that. I will share it, Mr. Mohammed Aminu. I'll share it. So the next thing is to view the data set. Now the code to view the data set is very simple. That's why I said Python is quite straight to the point. If I want to see what is in my trained data set, right? I have two options because I think there are about 10,000 records in this one, right? If I say train dot head, right? What it does is that it just gives me the first five records. You understand?
Train.
Look at this code.
Dot
Train
head.
dot head.
Okay,
Look at
yes,
it.
yes.
Train dot head. Then parenthesis. If I should run this code, you see me, it will give me the first five records in this data set. Are you with me? Now we can see the features. What are the features here? Country, year, unique ID, bank account, right? Location type, cell phone access, household size, age of respondent, gender of respondent, relationship with head, marital status, education level, and job type. So these are the features we have. Because now we're looking at, like, if you look at this, it's already, if you notice, if you understand what this thing is doing, to take shape. Because people that own bank accounts will have certain features, right? Like most, if you look at rural now, right? Most people in the rural area might not have bank account. Maybe not now, right? Cell phone access. They expect that okay, maybe someone that owns a bank account should have a what? Cell phone. Household size 3 or whatever. Age of respondent. Now your age also can determine whether you should have a what? Bank account. Gender of respondent, male, female, doesn't really matter. Any is human. Relationship with
Talented variable is feature is
the target feature here is what? Bank account. This is our target feature here. Bank account. We want to know whether someone has a bank. That's why the answer is what? Yes or no. So our target feature here is what? Bank account. So we have seen the head. The next thing is what? You can view the last five records using train.tail, right? When you do this, so here we have like how many records? 23,503, 523 records in the train data set, right? You can actually see more. If you want to see more records, you can do that, right? If I say train dot head 100, are you with me?
Wait, put 100, you mean 100%.
No, to give me the first 100 records.
Okay, yes.
Can you see? But the problem now, because of the space, some things are blacked out, so you can't really see the records that are here, right? But the funny thing, while you're actually doing the train.head, let's just have an idea how your table looks like. Do you get how your table looks like? If you want to, you can do.
Okay, there was something that you've imported the data set.
I have.
You have. Okay. Does it come clean?
It's not clean.
So you have to do the
We'll
language.
clean it. That's where pre-processing comes inside. If you look at here, if you look at when we're importing, there is a specific library called from scikit-learn dot sklearn dot preprocessing. This is where pre-processing comes in.
Okay.
So if you look at it, most of the times, depending on the algorithm we're using, in this case, we're going to use logistic algorithm because it's a binary classification. Bank account, do you have, is that yes or no? It's binary. You understand? It's a two-way thing.
Yes or no.
Either a yes or a no. So once you're now running to go, when you now run this thing through your algorithm, you're not going to run it as categorical data. You have to now change it to numerical data because that is what the thing understands. So when it sees it, it will now give you a specific accuracy, right?
Okay, in that note now, are you going to turn it from category to numerical for us to see?
Yes.
No problem.
We'll compare that. That's why I said this is what we're supposed to have. Changed.
Done from
Not that
how
because we had to like go from the beginning because not everybody has the same level of
Understanding.
not understanding it. What you understand, what you know in Python now, another person might not know. That's why I had to go back to list and all those basics.
without being encoding, right?
That will be encoding.
Because To rank up, they give me wahala, so I want to know how to clean it.
Okay, so we are looking at test.head. This is the test data set. Look at it here. Test.tail. In the test, we have like 10,000 data sets. So look at the SS. Look at the ask for SS. Look at what it is here. Unique ID. So how they want us to do is that unique ID times the country, then what? Bank account. So the solution is very simple. We want to know, you can't see they didn't even put the name again. Just like now, everybody's bank account is unique to the person. Two people cannot have the same bank account. So, or unique, your NIN or your BVN is unique to you. Me and you cannot share the same BVN or NIN. So the unique ID now can be the NIN or it can be the BVN. You say unique ID times what? The country, then bank account. So if you look at this, what they're trying to tell us that, can you see the bank account now has shifted from what? Yes and no to what? Zeros and ones.
Yes.
Do you understand? So here, if you look at the 0 means no, 1 means yes. So yeah, the first five people here don't have bank accounts, and they're all in Kenya. You understand? Let's look at the tail. Let's go to the tail and see. SS. So tail. So we have this. Also, we look at the last 5 in Uganda, they don't even have bank account. You understand?
Maybe I might sound ignorant. What is SS?
Sample submission.
Okay.
You understand? I just put that so that we can know how.
Yes, okay.
Look at the VD, variable definition. So these are variable definition. These are just the variables that we have, just like as country interviewee is in. So what I'm saying is that in this survey, they went around in these 4 countries, different localities in these 4 countries, conducted interviews, and got these people. That's another way of what? Getting a data set.
So this is like documentation, right?
Yeah, this is the first step of what data gathering. So if you are in a, just like for example, they put you in a project, and we are supposed to find those that have cancer, right? I've forgotten that. I can't. That term always seems to skip my mind. Those that have cancer that will kill them, and those that have cancer that they can treat.
Predictive.
Those predictive analysis. Now, if you want to do that, we have set out on an assignment here. They're not expecting me and you to go online. There are data sets online, but they expect us now to go hospital by hospital by hospital. We're going to create our features. We create our features. Right now, the idea now, probably maybe the target feature will be like, maybe the type of cancer they have. Is it the one that will kill them immediately in a short time, or the one that will, at least, probably they can treat? So things like that are, that's why it said here, country interview, the country interviewee is in, year the survey was done, unique ID, unique identifier for each interviewee, location type, either rural or urban, cell phone access, yes or no, household size, number of people living in the house, age of respondent, gender of respondent, relationship with the head, marital status, education level, and what? Job type. So that's just the variable definition. Like I said, a sample submission and this one are not really needed, but because for the sake of this competition, we needed it so that we can understand what we are working
It's
with.
good that you teaching us.
You understand?
Because there are cases you want to declare your variables.
So there's another, it's always good to know what you have in your data set. That's where we have the info part. Train.info, right? This is what it has. So if you look at this, it gives us the number of columns we have. It tells that we have what? 13 columns, right? Just info, just like information about the data set. We have 13 columns. The columns range from country down to what? Job type, right? Then if you look at the D types here, it tells you that we have 3 integers and 10 objects, right? And if you look at this, non-null, that's none that, you say non-null, the ones that are not 0, right? Look at them, 23,524, right? Data type, object, integer, object,
Only
object,
just
object.
subject and integer.
So count, non-null, 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 and so on. So that's basically what the info does. Then we also have the describe, right? What describe does, it just tells us, it gives us the counts, right? It gives us the count, the mean, the standard deviation, the minimum number there, the 25th percentile, 50th.
Standard,
So these are just
something
basically,
fancy,
yeah, so look at the count for year, right? Look at it. This is the people that we have in year, household size, and age for the count in these three ones. Mean. Now, if you look at what's happening here, it's actually taking numerical data. Do you understand?
Yes.
Because you can't use this to describe. You can't get the
Categorical,
mean.
yeah.
You can't get the mean of a categorical data. You can't count a categorical data. Standard deviation, max, and all that. Then we have n unique. N unique means number of unique, right? N unique. Number of unique. What that means is that inside all this data, what are unique? So the country, we have 4 countries here, basically. Why is it unique? Because in the data set, countries are duplicated. For example, now we have, give or take, in the data set, we have almost 50,000 records, right? 50,000 records. We have maybe like 100, maybe 10,000 people from Kenya, 10,000 from Uganda, and all that. So when you bring the n unique means number of unique, it will just count, irrespective of here. Kenya appears plenty in the data set. We'll just count Kenya as one. I've seen Kenya plenty, but I'll just pick only one Kenya, one Uganda, one Rwanda. So what it does that it just brings out the unique.
Just like we have in sets, right?
Yes. So
Like,
what?
instead of 2 group, we can have 1, 1, 1. and
Yes.
set.
So when they say unique, for example, now, I would like explain unique. Okay, just like I said, I'm saying in the table here, we have Kenya. Out of the 50,000 records, we have a lot. Maybe we can have 10,000 people in Kenya, 10,000 in Uganda, 10,000 in Rwanda, 10,000 in what. But the thing remains that the uniqueness of this thing is that they are all in one country. I don't know if you understand. Kenya is one country, Uganda is one country. In as much as here we did the survey, so that's what the unique does now. Can you see country here is 4 because we're working with only 4 countries, right? Year is 3 years. We have only 3 years. Unique ID, we have 8,735 people with unique IDs. Bank account, we have 2 types, either yes or no, right? Location type, 2, rural or urban, right? Cell phone access, yes or no, and so on and so forth.
Age of respondent, 85.
Age of respondent. So we have 85 age of respondent because in that situation, some people might have the same age. You understand? So you are not going to pick the 2.
Pick all the years.
No, when you say unique, when you say something is unique, even in MySQL, when you say unique,
It's
it
a
just,
unique identifier.
it just, thank you, it just gives you the uniqueness of one thing. Now, if you say how many colors are here, and just like take example, typical example, Nigerian flag. How many colors are there? What one's key?
2.
Did you count green twice?
Some of us was doing it before.
That's what I'm saying. I was watching. So you see, because green is there twice and white is there, you cannot say the colors in Nigerian flag are green, white, and green. Why are you calling green twice when you've already called green before? So that's what number of. So you say how many numbers are in the Nigerian flag? 2 colors, green and what? White. So that's just simple of what they mean by
The
unique.
unique identifier is just 8,000. I thought individuals are supposed to have a unique identifier.
That is why we are doing this. We're breaking it down like this. So you see, when you do all this, but you cannot understand why is it that I have over 50,000 records, but I'm getting unique ID as what? 8,735. What does that mean? Some people don't have IDs. I don't know if you get.
There are no duplicates.
You can't duplicate. So some people don't have IDs. So when you're now coming to do your processing, you now know that you're supposed to drop some rows, some records. Because without an ID, because from our sample submission, you can see that what we're submitting is what? Unique ID and what? Country. But because now there is some people don't have unique ID, I don't need them. Forget the fact that I took them. I will drop them. Because if I don't drop them, I will not have a good accuracy score. I will not have a good accurate score. So that's why I'm doing all these methods. From what? The info. Info shows you number of the columns, number of records that are null and non-null. Now shows you the what data type. Describe now will now describe, although it gives you a numerical value to that of what, whatever the count, the STD, the mean division, and all that. Then when it now comes to what, you can have the unique one.
Uniqueness.
Shey get. We can also have I think we have another one called unique. Train dot unique. Train dot unique. Right? So there's a difference between the two.
The first one is string dot end.
And unique. And there's train dot unique. This is still loading.
Do that, you see the reason.
Object has no
Define.
attribute.
Yeah, that's from object. No.
I know there's some. Okay, is there unique? I don't think there's no unique.
But there's a way you find out whether that is unique. There's a code you write to now see all the parameters. And you can think.
Oh, don't worry. Probably you can go and think about that.
No, I'm telling you, I know I'm trying to.
No, even me, I agree with you. There's a way you can
know all the
know all the.
content.
So now this is this for this, right? So it tells you something. Age of respondent, we have 85 unique identifiers, right? And all that. Job type, we have 10. We have and all that. So you can know, this gives you an insight of how, okay, when time comes, when I'm breaking this is how it's supposed to be. So now we have what they call exploratory data analysis. I didn't really want to do this because I feel it's just like we're just showing it's just like showing visualizations.
But that's the part.
Change that sound. But me, I wanted us to go to the part. Yeah, this is the data analytics part. But we're supposed to go to the part where we now start working with our algorithm. But if you say I should continue with this,
and no, it's not about me. It's about the class. What do they want?
should we continue with this or we should skip this data analysis?
But the video, you give us all this.
I just don't want to dwell on
Let's go to the train tests first.
That's what.
There's enough time. You can always go back to that.
All right. So you see, all these are for exploratory data analysis. If
Visualization.
yes, I can just show you just
As
something.
graphs.
If I should run this specific one, it's loading. It's supposed to be a bar plot, and we're plotting the year against the age of first what. This just an exploratory.
And so leave it. We will run it and understand. I know what you're talking about. Even in data analysis, we do exploratory first.
Yeah.
Know what the devil is all about.
Okay. So now look at the next one here. We're converting target label to what? Numerical data. So we know what our target label is. Our bank account.
Our bank account.
Yes.
That's what target.
So I call this.
I think it's the same as the node. Target label is also known as node.
That's like the main. That's what the main feature. So if
Yes.
you want to call it node, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
And now being deep learning.
yes. When you go to deep learning,
Oh,
when you what do I want to say?
don't
That's
worry.
deep my mind.
We
So
will
for-
ask AI to help.
For the case of this, right, our main target is what? Bank account. If, for example, they said they wanted to know people that have cell phones in that country, our target will now be cell phones. Or if they wanted us to know location of people that have this bank account,
Yeah.
now it now become rural and what? Urban, which is still binary classification as well.
All of them will be binary.
So if you look at this now, they say convert target label to numerical data.
Okay.
Because now our target label is either yes or no.
Which is what, 0 or 1.
So they want us to now convert it to what? Numerical data.
Yes.
So LE, we're now going to introduce label encoder. Understand? The label encoder just converts what? Categorical data to what? Numerical data. So LE,
Which is the level?
yes,
Variable.
yes. LE is equal to what? Label
Label
encoder, right? So now, what I want to convert is I want to convert bank account. That's why I'm putting train, right? Look at the code here. Train.
That is the string.
So this is train, and I'm now passing my bank account in square bracket. So it's square bracket.
Data set.
That's the data set, yes. So I'm now saying, look at the bank account in that, right?
Mhm.
So now here I'm now separating training features from what? Target features. So I'm going to separate it now. So I'm now going to drop the bank account from the main
Main table.
table.
Agreed.
Chike, I'll drop it. So that's what I'm saying here. If you look at the x.train, right? Train.drop bank account axis what? One. Next, I talk about the axis. Axis 0 is the row. Axis 1 is the column.
Column. Okay.
Yes.
Yes and Y.
Yeah. So axis 1 is the column. So now I want, I'm plotting the target feature, right? Here versus what? Other features.
Okay.
I don't know if you get. My target feature is what? On my y-axis. Normally when you're plotting the graph, your y-axis is where what you want to
Achieve.
Also, they say there you want to get price against houses. You understand? The price is what matters. That is the most important thing. That's why the y-axis. This other one can hold anything. Can be anything. If you look at this, my x_3, I am now dropping my bank account from all the other table,
On the table. Yeah.
and I'm now taking it what to my y, which I call y_3, right? Then I can now what print it. Is that okay? So let's run this and see. So if you look at this now, can you see what's happening?
Okay, it just appeared the zeros and ones.
It does not become zeros and ones, right? Zeros and ones, and this is actually what.
Bank length.
So this is the bank. So this is what I'm. So I've now this one now has actually been kept somewhere. So if I say train.head, can you see what happens to my bank account here?
Okay. Now, it's now recognizing the immediate training you gave.
Yes.
Like say train.head.
Yes.
It's not the other train.head.
It's no more recognizing that
Recognize
one.
the
You
entire
look at the
table.
other one. Bank account was what? Yes and no.
No,
But look at bank account here. What does it show?
Zeros and ones.
Understand? So I've managed.
Can you go further? So from the drop, so the drop is from the now. Then why training cost? So now all of that was without why training cost trainer can be added.
So now what happens? That white train now, right? What I've done is that I have now converted whatever I took from that the bank account that I took from the main table. I've now saved it in what they call white
White
train.
train.
Now I know probably what's happening now.
Which one am I going to assist now?
You know, go burner. I don't know. Is it only my class this used to happen?
No, it's happening every time. But the way they take it, I was complaining to them case of them. It's not the way they take light now. You say people are using solar. Is it how solar goes off?
No, they switch it now.
Switching, that's what they do.
They will switch right now. If probably they will switch from the light to solar. There's a way it happens. I don't know why it doesn't switch automatically. So I don't know. Let me just keep on explaining. So once you have converted that specific column, that specific feature to categorical data, you have to save it somewhere so that you don't lose it. That's why
To
I'm now.
numerical.
Yes.
Is it to categorical?
Sorry, to numerical. That is why I now had to save it in what? Why?
Okay,
That's
now
the
what
tree.
you're making us understand. The key features you want, everything you're doing, so long as you want to start training, you must convert it to numerical.
Your target feature.
Your target feature
Yes.
must be
It
converted.
depends on the algorithm you're using. It depends on what they're telling you to work with.
I
In
know.
some cases, it depends on the data set. In some cases, it might not be categorical. That's why we said
It might not be numerical.
it might not be binary something.
is there another form that machine can read it?
Yes, that's why they have different algorithms. There's what they call the random forest, the decision tree, right? If you're starting with, you have to probably different decisions. You know how decision tree looks now.
My nose is like this.
So you just scatter. So it has its own algorithm, right? Which is already inbuilt. It's just for you to import it. You understand? You will import it. Once you import it, it will work for you. So, but in this situation, since we are dealing with just a binary issue, yes or no, the best thing we can use now is a binary classifier. Okay, so we're back. So just like I said, so in this X dot chain here, we've dropped the bank account, right? But we also need to keep it somewhere. That's why we are now brought Y underscore
It's
chain
like we have pop in what's the term?
in list.
Yes.
But I know a question that you might ask is that why is bank account still show here after I've dropped it? Have nobody thought of it?
That would be the follow-up question now.
Nobody has thought of it because I was looking at it that you dropped it from being
I dropped it from being,
categorical to numerical.
Yes.
We've not dropped it from
The table.
the table.
Yes.
That's why I did not ask.
Yeah.
Let's go on it. That part.
So look at the code here. Look at it here. Look at where I dropped it.
Okay.
X underscore train is equal to train dot drop bank account along
Not
what
from the
axis one.
Okay. Now I understand.
No, I dropped it from the table.
Yeah,
But do you know why?
there's a different variable now that you save tree.
I thank you very much. I see it as a different variable. So now, if I come and say, what did I call it? I called it X dot train, right?
Yes.
X underscore train.
That won't have bank account in it, right?
Yeah, let us see what it will give
See,
us.
nothing is showing.
Why now?
Because we are in cosmopolitan.
Yeah, but this is the
No, maybe because of the light they took. Call them. They shouldn't try this today.
Well, I don't know this password.
You don't know the password. Stop. We don't need to miss this side.
I don't know the password. Okay, let me put it again. CMUP. Don't worry. Probably it went off. Okay.
Okay, stop.
We're back. So I don't even need the password. Okay. So I wanted to show you, since I saved this as x.train, right? Let us see what this will give us. So can you see? Is there a bank account here?
No.
That's just it. She gets. So because I saved it, very nice observation. Actually, so I mean, I was expecting your question should be why is this thing here? What?
We were listening. I was just saying. This is the only
So
reason.
after that, right? The next thing, we say to convert the following numerical data to what? Floats. Why we're converting to float? You know, now all these things now will now be in what? The x-axis. All these now are in x dot train. These features, right? The only feature that is in y underscore train is a bank account because that is our target feature, right? So now, age of respondent is an integer. Year is an integer, right? But welcome. When you are, basically when you're plotting a graph, there are some times that you might have something dot, you might have a floating point
Yes,
number.
yes,
So please, let us not lose, because we're trying to be accurate here. Let's not lose fact that some things might come as what? Floating point numbers. So it's best for us to just convert everything to what? Floating point. I don't know if you understand me.
No, but I wanted to. Why?
If you work with integer, right? Sometimes,
There's a whole number.
like take for example now, if you look at what we're converting here, it's just two features we're converting to what?
Numerical.
to floating point.
Okay.
Two numerical data were contained. For first of all, the year, right? Why we convert the year? In this year, we have only 3 years. I think we have 2016, 2017, and 2018, right? Then the years can be, we can have people with the same year of age of birth, right? So in order, if you're going to plot it, it will look somehow. If you're going to plot with 2016, it will just look, I don't know how I might explain it. It will be like, maybe if you say 2016, everybody 2016, it will look like this. So now, but if we now introduce a floating point, right? It could just give us some form of variation. I don't know if you understand me. It might give us some form of variation. That's why we have to convert those numbers to what? Floating point number. So this is the code here, right? Float underscore array. We're in X train now. We're not using train again, as you can see. X train, we want to convert age of respondent and the year dot values to the code as dot values as type. You understand? As type. I'm now converting it to a type, which is what?
Floats. This is where it's converting.
That's where this line of code here converts it to what? A floating point number. Right?
This thing goes sweet if you know how.
Now, but do you know how I actually learned this thing is?
Teach me, please.
I'm not going to lie to you. It's not tool, and you know that every day we used to use it. YouTube. I'm serious. YouTube. I learned this thing in 2025. I remember that time I was in Jos. There was a holiday because I used to teach. No, in 2020, I think 2022 or 2020, I can't remember the year. I used to teach. So, during that third term holiday, it's always very long. And I was telling myself that year I was going to stop teaching secondary school. And there's something to fall back to. I had this friend, he has a hobby just doing very well. I saw an advertisement on Facebook. I called him. I was like, how far? Can I do this thing? Why not? How much? He told me. I sent the money to him. I attended the class for 3 months. After 3 months, you can't really gather everything. I had a very good tutor. His name is Josh. I don't know where he is. Very, very nice guy. Because in that 3 months, we started with my SQL. After my SQL, we jumped to Python. So what happened? We jumped to machine learning. What actually took our time was this thing. We finished my SQL I think in less than 3 weeks.
No, you can't. Less than 3 weeks.
But the other period, for the bulk of the 3 months, we ended up using it for machine learning. Then the part whereby we were supposed to even learn Excel, we just used like a week for Excel because there was no time. You understand? So after that, in my spare time, whenever I'm looking at data science, I'm looking for videos. For example, now when I now see they're talking about one-hot encoding, I'll go to YouTube and say, please give me samples of codes with one-hot encoding, with label encoder, with this, with that, with that, with that. There are different ways of writing this code. Forget how I wrote it like this. You might go to YouTube and see another person is writing it in another way.
That's the confusion has been.
No, you find it just adopt, pick a certain one that you like.
Because there's one I was following, eh?
Pick a certain one that you like. No, there are people that are
my
deep.
head was almost getting cracked. I left it.
So let's come back here. So now let's look at is it categorical features to be converted to one-hot encoding. Let's look at what one-hot encoding is. So one-hot encoding, let us look at what it does.
What do you mean hot encoder?
One-hot encoding.
One hot encoder.
There's label encoder and there's one-hot encoder. They almost do the same thing, but the disparities.
We're in class. You tell me what
No, I will. And that's why I'm opening YouTube so that in case this thing doesn't come out. Look at one-hot encoding here. Right? One-hot encoding is a method for converting categorical variables into a what? Binary format. So, having read this, can you tell me the difference between one-hot encoding and label encoder?
categorically variable into binary formats.
Binary format. That's zeros and ones.
Okay.
Zeros and ones.
But label encoder,
label
on the
encoder.
other part, converts categorical data into numerical data.
Okay, it's switched.
If you commit the same thing,
Numerical.
but there's something that is different here.
This
One
is
hot,
binary. Binary is zeros and one.
zeros and one.
Then
Then the other one to numerical data.
which is numerical data is still there's no zero one.
It can be more than one.
It can be more than zeros and ones. That's not the difference.
Oh, this
Label
one is zeros and
encoder,
one, binary.
label encoder converts to numerical data, right? While the other one, this one, make sure it is what binary format, zeros and ones. So that was the difference.
Oh God, help me.
I hope it makes sense.
It's about
Okay. So now this is what we want to convert to what one hot encoding, right? I don't know what our table tells us about this thing. Why are we converting this ones to one hot encoding?
But you know, our node or our target is
It's bank
the bank account.
It's a bank account, but because we want to convert these things because, like I said, we cannot get the accuracy with categorical data.
When it
Yes,
is,
The idea of running this model is that you're converting everything to what somewhat numerical. Do you understand? Because we cannot come and get because of this thing we're using, we cannot come and use, for example, now, I cannot use your name.
as my name, it should come numerically.
It will have to change it.
Yes, numerically.
That's the idea. We have to change it.
Yes. Even in data analysis, you can do it
You can do it.
with Excel. You can
It's
do
very,
it.
very possible. I'm not clear. Okay, what's the problem, Hajara? Please state your observation before we proceed.
This categorically converting. I've done it before. I don't remember. When I'm doing a correlation,
So you can convert from
numerical, categorical to numerical, especially when you are dealing with data set that has categorical data. And for you to work to get the accuracy of
Okay, one hot encoding. All right, me let me quickly go back. Right, let's start from a label encoder.
just binary or binary. Binary.
So does that mean that label encoding can encode to if you have three categories, for example, so it could be 1, 2, 0, 1, 2,
4,
right?
5, 6.
Yes.
But binary
Zero,
can only be 0, 1, 0, 1, 0.
Yes.
On and off, yes. On and off.
Okay, let me share this screen. Let us quickly look at the difference between one hot encoding versus. Give me now.
When will I be a champion?
Look at it. See? So it will always give you because people always ask this question very well. Let's just look at the difference. Resources, but learning. That's why actually say in machine learning, one hot encoding creates multiple binary columns for each category, right? While label assigns unique integer to each category, essentially creating an ordinal relationship between them. One hot encoding is preferred when the order of categories doesn't matter, while label encoding is better when there is an inherent order between the categories in the data. This one is English.
But we understood what they're saying.
Let's see what this guy is saying.
One hot together versus label.
Oh boy. Your data.
Sure.
It's taking so much. Label encoding is a common technique for converting categorical variable into numerical variables. Understood? Each unique category variable is assigned a unique integer based on alphabetical or numerical value. Okay. Let's walk through how to implement label.
So now it's just on a long process.
Non-hot encoding is another popular technique for treating categorical variables. It simply creates additional features based on the number of
Okay, I
values.
think I get the difference. One hot encoding will create additional columns. You understand? But with now numerical data. No, I think it just came back, it just hit me now. Let's just go back here. I will explain it properly.
Okay.
Unlike one label encoder, label, those are the name label encoder, is just for a specific label, a specific feature. If you look at what we did with one with label encoding here, we only used a feature bank account, right? But let's come to one hot encoding. Sorry, Hajara, I hope you're following. Label encoder, we use only one feature. But now, one hot encoding, look at what we're doing here. We want to convert marital status, education level, job type, and country. Now it's multiple, right? To what? Numerical data. You understand? That is what we're doing here with one encoder. So now I create a variable called category and I put it through a list, right? Through a list. So now look at the one hot encoding conversion here. So I'll now say x underscore train, which is my this thing, right? Is equal to pd dot get dummies x train, comma prefix, right? Prefix underscore separate should be this, then columns. My column should be what? Category. So I want to convert the following. Location type, right? Now this is what I'm using label encoder here. Can you see? Let me explain something. You can see something here. The label encoder and one hot encoding is happening together here. Now look at the one hot encoding. I am working with these multiple features for one hot encoding. When I now come to label encoder, which is this one, I am now picking them one by one. Can you see? I'll pick location type, run it through the label encoder. Cell phone access, run it through this. This one, run it through. So the difference is that you can actually use multiple for one hot encoding. You understand? Like here now, I just had to, but I ran it through a list. You understand? And I'm converting it here using the get dummies. And look at it here. Column is equal to what? Categ.
So can we see the results?
No, we'll see the result. We'll see the result. So apart from that, I'm now dropping some IDs. Like I told you, there are some things you don't even need. Yeah, we choose that.
So when you're designing this, what make you decide to, those ones you use for one hot encoding? What make you decide to choose those ones? Run it for label?
I think you can. It depends. It depends on you. But this was, like I said, for the purpose of learning, I had to divide it into the two. Now I can choose to continue putting the categories. I can choose to put location type here. It will still give me the what? Ones and zeros. I don't know if you get. But the difference now is that you see these ones now. I think this one hot encoder will create extra columns for me. Let's say we'll see the output. So before that, we are now dropping some columns. Like I said, there are some things you might not need. When you look at your table, right? It depends on what you're doing. You might look at your table and say, but I don't need this now. I don't need this. Take for instance, look at the unique ID. Right?
It's not complete.
It's not complete, right? The unique ID is not complete. And the way it is even represented, it doesn't come as a number. And it doesn't even come as a distance. Look at the unique ID here. Can you see it? Unique ID underscore one. So we cannot really try if we try converting this, it will give us something very funny.
Why is there any way we can turn it to a primary key?
It is the primary key for sure.
Yeah, so
No, now we don't need it. You understand? Now we don't need it. What we're looking for basically is the time we will need it, you will see.
Okay. My question, the result, it says when you want to submit.
Yeah,
You should
unique
have
ID.
unique ID.
Yes.
So how will you get that?
Don't worry now.
It.
Relax.
And what is primary key? Okay.
no, like when you're dropping that unique ID,
Okay.
each person or each item is supposed to have an identifier.
Yes.
That is the primary key.
Wait, there's an identifier. Those that we're not using it.
Yeah, so in that format, it should be as soon as
We're not-
it has no
We're not using the unique ID. If you try converting the unique ID, let me just don't worry. Okay, before we drop it, can we try something? We can't convert the unique ID to zeros and ones.
It was going to be numerical.
Sure, you get. It's no longer. It's no.
Encoder for it.
You can't use label encoder because they do the same thing. You know, a label encoder carries them one by one. But
So to still
one
be zeros and ones.
it will still be zeros, but we can't convert the unique ID. At this point in time, what we're doing here, we cannot convert the unique ID to zeros and ones.
Okay, yeah.
Because that unique ID is also, all I told you is unique.
Yes.
If you are number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6, number 7, how do we convert those numbers to zeros and ones? Because it's still the same thing. It's not like I didn't I said male, female, male, 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 male. It works. You understand?
Oh, yes,
So wherever I see male, if I assign male to 1, yes, 1 is male. 0 to female, female is 0.
Okay, so but is there a way we can encode that we have not just 1 and zeros and 1, but we have 2 and 3? Can we encode that?
Yeah, there's situations wherever we can have
0, 1, 2.
like there's this popular sample data set that we use. They call it Titanic. The idea of the Titanic, people that survived, people that died, where they boarded from.
I did it in my project, but I followed the series, and after doing it, I can't even explain it.
Like you see, but it depends on the feature. Like it depends on the target feature. If your target feature was where they boarded from, there were 3.
3, yes.
There was Liverpool, there was Southampton, and there was one other state in the
Island.
UK.
Okay.
There were 3.
Yes.
There was Liverpool. I think the ship took off from a specific place. Was it Liverpool? Then it now went to people in Southampton. Then the last place. So in that category, in that situation now, if you want to do it, you have 0, 1, and 2.
Yes. So we can use one auth encoding for that or label encoding.
We can use
Or is there a different encoder?
you can use one hot. You can use label encoder for that.
Okay, but not one auth encoding. So this one auth encoding is binary.
I have that thing here. No, I will check it. So yeah, we are dropping the unique ID because in this situation we don't need it to just make our data not look good. Household size, because we have some people that have 3 in their household, 5, some have 10, so we don't need it. Relationship with head, some of them are wives, some of them are children, some of them are brothers.
It makes no sense.
So we're dropping them along what axis 1. Let us print it and see this x under string dot head should give us what our data should look like. All right, look at this, right? Can you see?
But I thought we were supposed to convert here to floats.
Yes, you mentioned float.
Yeah, it will convert to float, but it won't really show. It's actually a float,
Okay.
but it won't really show. Not like this, right? Location type. Let's look at the one we did for one hot encoding, right? We said what marital status.
Marital, education, job, marriage,
Now see what one hot encoding does here. Let me show you something. Let's go back to marital status. Can you see marital status here? Married, living together, widowed, single, never married, living together, and all that. There's also divorced. So now see what hot encoding does. Can you see what it does? I told you it will break that specific feature into different columns. Now look at marital status here. We now have marital status what? Underscore divorce. Can you see?
Yes.
We now have what?
False.
Marital status don't know. Marital status living together.
True.
Marital status
False.
never what?
It gave us additional.
It gave us. If you look at the job,
It created other columns.
that what
It's not great trouble since they are not.
that what see what hot encoding does. It helps you get dummy variables. Dummy variables in the sense that, for example, now because we feel that specific feature is needed. Now, whatever should I say answer or whatever data is in that column and you feel is needed, right, for this thing, you can use one hot encoding to get dummy variables for it. Like in this situation, like I told you, in the marriage side, we had widowed, we had single. Okay, we're looking at those with bank account. Someone that is married, is there a probability that you have a bank account?
Yes, not.
Yes, it's high. It's a high probability. A married man.
Okay. But is it compulsory that you must?
It's not compulsory, but that's why I said that's why I use a probability. There's a high chance because if you're married and probably you're keeping your money under your bed. It's very risky.
Yeah, it is. Very
For a man or a woman, number one, you have kids in the house. You even have your spouse. You as a woman or as a man, you might have your money. For example, now either the wife or the man will not come and say, "Hey, this is where my wife or my husband keeps money." Therefore, they call temptation. Now, no matter how good you are, one day something might just hit you that let me just take 2,000 naira and buy this thing. I'm expecting money tomorrow. I'll replace it.
If you start, you have started.
It's not started.
Don't start.
Say again. So I don't even advise you. So I'm just giving you instances why, as a married man, you should have a what? Bank account. So the next one here is that they said married living together, very important now. You have a bank account. Even this is of animals swallowing money. A rat can come and swallow your money. Look at this. Divorce/separated. Is it possible that you have a bank account?
No. Yes.
Yes.
Divorce.
As an individual.
Divorce/separated. You've been married before now. They said single, never married. This one now is possible. This one might not have a bank account. A man that is single or a woman that is single, never married. It depends on the type of job you're doing. If, for example, my job is one that I always get money like cash, right? And I know my house is secure. I can just Thank you. So these are some things you can consider. These are just options just to widen our scope. Widowed, she might have a bank account, or maybe she never had. Maybe her husband was the one that had the bank account and was the one managing all the finances. And look at the job. Now, the other one, we know we had the job type. Job type 2 had its own too. Now, the first job type, let's go back here. Look at the job type here. We had the case of self-employed, government dependent, formally employed, informally employed. So now, what one hot encoding does, it will divide that column because I feel okay, I need this column. That's why if you look at, sometimes this timber is when you look at the data set and you feel that okay, some of these features might be needed. So what one hot encoding has done here, it has taken this marital status and created dummy variables for me and expanded it and gave them what? Columns with different outputs, false and true.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So, for example, now in this situation, marital status, divorced, all this one false, right? False. These are all dummy variables. Living together, true, false. So it depends on. So that's what it does for us here. Then government dependent. As a government dependent, if not now, that before government will give you money, they will tell you will have a bank account. I think before they used to share the money. As a dependent, those, for example, now all these conditional cash transfer, all these NSIP schemes that they are doing since Buhari time. How do they do it? There was one I think I applied for, which during Buhari time, I applied for it. They said they're going to give money for 3 months. I don't know if people can remember something like that. I totally forgot. Just I think in the month of, because I know that is the last time they paid me was in January. I just stayed in.
Okay, 50,000.
Thank you. That was the amount. How much you understand the thing? I think they started paying me in November. I totally forgot about it. I just saw 50,000 naira credit description. This. I started asking myself, when did I do this thing? She get. And I just remember in that registration, I put my BVN, my bank account, and all those things. So people that in that situation, if you're a government dependent, maybe in this time, I don't have a bank account, you cannot access that money. So informally employed, maybe you're an artisan or a chef or whatever. Job type, no income. It happens. Job type, other income. Job type, remittance dependent. Job type, self-employed. Then we also do for the countries, right? Kenya, Rwanda. So you see what it does for us now. It helps us to break this thing down to you can know that okay, someone that is married, right, and is living with his wife, does he have a bank account? You understand? That is what one hot encoding has done for us. It has helped us to spread our data set into more things here.
With dummy variables. So from there you can easily know from the title of the column what you.
So if you look at, let me even show you something here. I'm sorry, Mr. Anas, I'll come to you. If you look at when we're doing one hot encoding, look at it here. We first created a list.
Okay, one. Okay, these are the
That's what I want you to
all those,
understand. We created
Dummy.
we created a list.
dummy variables.
Yes, we created a list, categorical features to be converted to one hot encoding. We created a list called CATEG, CATEG. And look at what I wanted to convert: marital status, education level, job type, and what? Country. Do you understand? Now, look at this one hot encoding conversion. I said x underscore train should be equal to pd dot get underscore dummies, right? We are getting it from what? X train, which is our table now, right? Then I want you to say prefix separation. That's what it means. The prefix separation, use underscore to separate it. Then the columns you're taking it from is what? The categ that I created. Let me show you something here. When I now created it, look at it now. Marital status, it became marital underscore status underscore what? Divorced. Because I have stated here that,
It
okay,
must be underscore.
let it be underscore.
It's more like using a delimiter.
Yes. So if anything I choose to use here, if I put just that I cannot use dash because dash is kind
Dash,
of a
yes.
keyword it's a key this thing.
Yes.
So I can choose anything. If I say I will use this,
You can even
I can use this.
you can even leave it blank.
Let's run this, you'll see something. It will only give me an error. How?
Mike,
It's just mute
Connection.
your screen share.
on his network. Okay. Can you hear me? I think they can hear me now. It's not messed up somewhere.
Then you go back. But what I know that you can use that separator without putting anything.
I told you to give me an error. What was the error
Yeah,
here?
go down. Let's see the error.
I say key error. None of the index, blah blah blah. So let's just use this.
Underscore. What if you don't use any?
Okay. I think where the error is because I've run it before.
Oh, it's supposed to be a different distance
I've run it before.
without a conflict.
Before marital status again because I've converted marital status to one hot encoding. So it doesn't recognize it again.
Yeah.
So unless probably let me see if I
You
can.
start from.
Let me run from here. I pray this will work. Okay, this works, right? Okay, no, it doesn't work again because it has already converted it. Can you see? It's still giving me what I had before. So it has converted it for me. That's one thing with one hot encoding. Before you use it, just know that it will change everything for you. You get it has changed everything totally for me. So I cannot even go back.
Let us go to.
So let us continue. Let us continue. So let me look at yesterday we talked about dot shape. This is a NumPy method. Dot shape, right? It tells me the shape of my table. It tells me I have what 23,524 rows and what 30 columns. That's what this thing is showing me, right?
Columns are plenty.
The columns are 30. That's because of one hot encoding.
Okay,
One hot
because of what they
encoding
added,
will increase the columns for you. The correlation. So this is it. This is how the columns correlate. Right? So what this thing does is that if you have a minus,
What
shows
happens,
that-
sorry, what happens if you use one hot encoding just for marital status or just for one? I was expecting it to give us zeros and ones.
no, what the mistake it won't give us the result. What it will do, right? It will take that specific feature, look at the responses under that feature, right? And it will now create a different column for it with its own different inputs.
If I want to 1 to 0, then I should use label encoding.
Use the balance. Now you see, now for us to convert those specific features that we took from one hot encoding, We now have to use label encoder because now it has not become true or
True or
false.
false,
You can now use label encoder to now reconvert it to what? Zeros and ones. I think we did somewhere around here. So we can have all these ones are just I don't want to do all these things. Hey, look at it here. Can you see?
Straight dot
Look at it here, right? Look at where I converted all those things now to what?
label
Label encoder. Can you see them? Right? I converted marital status, divorced, and all that. Everything here.
I say, but if you're good at it, you're good at
So
it.
X train dot head. Now let's go back here. You see that marital status has become what? Zeros and ones. So these ones are still false because I didn't convert them. But you can convert them. I think you understand the method now.
What benefits
Hmm?
to convert them now too much labor? The columns are plenty already.
There are plenty.
Depending
That's,
on what you want also.
don't worry. So xtrain.info. Let's see what is there. So these are can you see my columns have increased to what? I have how many
It has
columns? here?
increased to 30 to 89.
30 columns, right?
30 columns.
So
Those ones that have true or false, the whole data type,
mm,
boolean.
that's why you see bool here. So what you see now, you can see what you need to convert. If you look at now, basically we have integers. Most of them here are integers. These ones here are bool. So if you want to convert them, you now have to come and pass them through label encoder to convert
I
them.
don't think we have read everything, right?
Eh?
Because there was a point we converted to floats.
Okay, float.
The float, you said it may not appear, but it's
Yeah, but it
already
should
done.
show in the data type that we have floats.
It's supposed to show. It's not showing actually float here.
That means may not have not been executed.
Probably execute. That was from here, right? You guys are very. You see the funny thing. That's why I want you to do this. You have to be very observant, because like I told you, if your accuracy is not good, your model will never will have a problem.
No, definitely. It's
Just like now, people that build ChatGPT, right? No, ChatGPT is still a product of research till tomorrow. They are still making ChatGPT feel very accurate. And you, as an individual, the idea between ChatGPT is that the more you work with ChatGPT, the more it
you know how to
understands.
navigate around.
I've been saying my ChatGPT. There's a way I query my ChatGPT that even if I don't query it that way, sometimes it still gives me the result.
Of the expected-
How I don't know if you get me.
Yes.
So it has understood that me now I want my response in a certain way.
That is AI.
That's AI. So it starts from here. It starts from building such small models. You understand? So once they build it and they pass it and once they do the train set and they pass it through the algorithm and it gives them an accuracy of, let's say, 80%. That's not good. It's very poor if you ask me. But because of
What
this
is the appropriate?
appropriate, they have like 90 something. You can't get 100.
I know.
At least you have like let's say 95, 96.
Yes.
If you have that, trust me, you have trained very well.
I used ChatGPT yesterday. The thing gave me something also. I inputted a maths expression for it to solve. So it was supposed to be a linear two variable. So basically I put n and q. So it came me back to n and n.
N and N.
Yes.
Why?
I don't know. I tell me so that's
So you see, the funny thing is that this thing is a subject of
Change my question for
it's
me.
a human being that made it. Sometimes there was a time someone said someone put some funny Nigerian thing. He said he put a Nigerian term. All these are our normal Nigerian term. He asked ChatGPT, what's the meaning of what was it? I think it was a Yoruba term or something. At that point in time, ChatGPT gave me one very funny answer. I just said last year, I said ChatGPT, I just told ChatGPT, I said, please, what is the fastest way to make money? He told me, he gave me one long episode. He said there are so many ways to make money. What? He said, but there is no fastest way. He said, but if you want me to help you, I can give you few tips on making money. That's what it did. You cannot tell ChatGPT, how do I start money rituals? To give me a
It's a very error. Let's try it.
Check it. But no, if you really want money rituals, if you really want to do money rituals, and you say, sorry, I'm using this example. Sorry, please, this is not just for educational purpose. Yeah, let me do a disclaimer. If for that night, tell ChatGPT, I have no one to tell you have to build the foundation. This is this. This is that. That. I have this. I have that. I have all those. So you get how do I? So this is my problem. How do I move from it? Yes, sir.
It's your tech around.
Yeah, they're around. He's around. So basically, that's what it does. So it starts from building small models. It starts from building small models like this, and it's always advised that we start with what data sets before we now go to. No, this is the correlation. I was trying to explain this for you.
Yes.
What do you mean by correlation is that for you to know whether there is a relation between your features. If you can see, when you see where year and year intersect, it gave me one because there's a perfect correlation there because they are together ahead. But you see where location and year meet, it's giving me 0.2. Right? But I think if you have a 0.5, it's not bad. But when you see negative, there's a very poor correlation there. You understand? So probably we still have to still do some data processing. I don't know if you get me, to get to that point. You look at educational level primary, it's giving me negative because most of these ones are not numerical data. Do you understand? Not numerical data. This is heat map. I don't want this X screen dot head. I think I'm this right. Okay, I ran this. Okay, I did this. And so we now have
Scale our data to
scale our data into the range of zeros and ones. So you see, right? Instead of me going to convert all those other ones that are text, all those ones that we didn't convert, I can use this. What they call min-max scale, right? Min-max scale, yes. So scale our data into a range of zeros and also to convert every.
Oh, is that obvious? No, I did not. Thank God.
So what that will do, it will convert every other thing to zeros and ones for me.
Let's assume the ones I don't need. Okay. Excel is thriving. Excel is almost moving to this end.
No, Excel, yes, you can even introduce Python into Excel.
Yes, that's exactly what that is happening. You're going to have a perfect analysis.
Sorry, I'm just going through work.
Imagine how many minutes are those times? Taking that work.
Okay, so what I was saying. Sorry, those online. Let me see their questions online. Okay, please can you highlight the process of importing data to the Python notebook because your screen was. Yeah, I will. Before we go, I will do that. Sorry, I didn't know my screen was. Sorry, yeah, I will do that. I will do that at least before the class ends. I mean, we still have time now. 11:02. So is it 1 o'clock is ending? Ah, okay. I thought it was 12. No problem. I think
Are you in a hurry to leave us?
no. It's 12. I mean, I know it's 12 now. No, but no problem. We can do till 1 because the way the class is going.
And it's before the other woman comes.
The way the class is.
You disappear since. What's happening? Oh, there is also you bring the thing.
5 minutes again.
But I miss nothing. It's recorded. I can always go back. It's recorded.
All our classes are ending. They're supposed to end this week.
All the practicals, both practicals are missing.
We have those 4 weeks. I mean, now I'm supposed to start looking for internships.
Now here I will go. I think they have sound AI department.
Well, you will apply, right?
And they will tell us what to do now.
How to move from here.
They will tell us what to do.
So, Mr. Anas, I'll go back to how to import all those libraries. Sorry, this thing is telling me to wait 5 minutes before I can proceed. Those online, please let's wait for this thing to pick up.
What to say? When it comes down to this question, you can it in Excel. So in that Excel, you use it for data analysis. So you can use it to predict, you can use it to analyze. Then you can use it to know the best product that sells at a particular time. And what will likely be that product in the next 2 to 3 4 your prediction, real life scenario. It's not that these are the application. And we've used it on a bakery, and we'll use it on a car company. And so these are best. That one we call it paint and major. This is where you convert everything to numerical. Even anything that's on your final pathway, on your final pathway, there will be no mix. And then somebody cut it to remember.
Okay, Mr. Anna, so let me just answer this question before this thing pops up.
Did I not correct you? We are trying to boot from the 4 5 minutes. Another one came.
Okay, let me just explain this thing to this Mr. Anas. I hope you're there. Let me quickly explain what you're asking me to do. I said you have to import your libraries, right? These are your libraries.
Yeah, no, these are very
These are your libraries. Look at the libraries we need. NumPy as MP, Pandas as PD. But you don't really have to import this because you've already imported Pandas already. But we're just putting it there. Matplotlib for visualization, Seaborn for visualization, if you really need all those things. But look at the main one here, sklearn, scikit-learn, that's what it means. sklearn dot preprocessing, import label encoder, sklearn dot model selection, import train test splits, sklearn dot linear model, import logistic regression, matrix, and all that. So this is where we import most of the things libraries we are going to use. Here, we loaded our data set. This is how you load it from here. You can choose a variable. I choose my variable train pd.read, test pd.read. That's how you do it. Here you view it. Train.head. You view it. How we did here. We're able to view this here. Right? I hope you're getting my point. If you have any question, please ask me.
from there.
Let me go back. I said, here, this is where we import. All the libraries that you need, you're going to import. So I'll give you what you should do. I think in the long run, you should go online. Sorry, please let me answer this.
And your target is what you want to achieve. From the data set is what? The person is how many hands back accounts? So our target is just on that account. And they are in categorical method. You have to convert it to numerical. And that was the first one, convert it to numerical, which they do when you now call for that, they appear on the main page. Meanwhile, it's better for some function. So when you now go down, it's no longer. But how to solve that in that form? That particular you know, the problem is that most teachers do that. The one you
So, the difference is just
drop the color. Color is call it you know that if you are saying for people to say that was where we were hot like what hot coding is. You help you to split like more and it is not only like converting to numerical, right? Not only like converting to numerical. He is cool. You know, what you make sure that you have coding that has.
Are you sure? Are we sharing this? Yes,
Is somebody's birthday today?
So me, I don't know. Sorry, Mr. Hamza. Don't worry. Let me just set this thing up. I'll make sure I explain this before we leave the class. WDJE. Aha, what to do now? All right. Well, let me just explain this to you before. Okay, yeah, I'm back. Let me just explain this to you. Just like I said, you have to import your library. This is the first thing you have to do. Import your libraries. And there are certain libraries that are very important. Like you see your NumPy and you see your pandas. You cannot play with them. If you don't import them, I don't know what you're going to be doing. Matplotlib and Seaborn are for visualization. They are not necessary, right? They are for visualization. That's if you want to just see how, if you want to get graphs and all those things, you use Matplotlib or Seaborn. But when we want to do the main scikit-learn or the main machine learning algorithm, we use what they call sklearn from sklearn.preprocessing. Can you see where we got the label encoder, right? Now, here also, this preprocessing also gives us the one hot encoder because all these are preprocessing features. Model selection, train _ test _ split. We have not even done that yet. From the same sklearn, we're importing our logistic regression algorithm, which is this, because we're dealing with a binary problem, like I said. We're going to import our accuracy score from the same sklearn. I said scikit-learn, that's the name. We're going to import metrics. We're going to import min max scalar. That is even where we are right now, right? We're trying to get the min max scalar, convert everything to what? Binary. Here, I loaded my data set, right? Train is equal to, this is how you read a data set into the notebook. We say PD dot read _ CV. Please don't mind this thing. I don't know. It's just telling me that it's not English, so it will give me an error. PD read _ CSV. Then you now pass your data set, which is train.csv here, right? That's what I'm showing you. How I added it to the notebook. Look at it here. Train. I called my variable train. I read it pd.read underscore CSV. Then in bracket, train. The name of my dataset was train underscore CSV. That is here. And why I can do this is because I put my notebook and my dataset in the same folder. You understand? If it's not in the same folder, you have to start locating the path. Me, I don't want to go through that process. That is why I choose to put it in the same folder. I don't like going through a long process to find what I waste my time. So let me just show you where it is. This is my computer. Look at my train data set here, right? Look at my train, look at my test. No problem, no problem. So you get. Oh, okay. I don't know. Okay, you didn't see it, but I put it in the same folder. If I should come here, let me share this one. If you should come here, you can see my train data set and my test data set here. Then look at what I'm working on here. This specific one. Look at what I'm working on here. So that's how we import it. I hope.
Okay. You are talking to him. That's how you imported it.
This is how I imported my data set into my notebook.
Agreed. But the title of your data set, is it train.csv?
Yeah, it's called train.
No, because it showed the original.
It's called train, but because it's a CSV file, you have to put the extension.
I know. Can I go back to your folder?
Train.csv. Look at it.
There was a folder you said originally, you said of under logistics. That was where it came from.
This one.
No, up. Yes.
This one.
Yes.
This is what did the name of my notebook. Fin underscore logistics.
Okay, I didn't hear that.
Because I did show you guys how to change that. You can change the name.
So we are working
No, I
on
can change
Jupyter
it.
Notebook. We are working on Jupyter Lab, right?
Jupyter Notebook, yeah. Not lab. So I don't know, Mr. Annas, hope that helps. Can I name my variable? Madam, you're taking us back to Can I give my own?
Question.
Yes, like I told you, I said even if you want to give it a name, just like I told you,
my name.
a variable is a container, like I said. And I give example of sugar, salt, and milk here. You can choose to put anything. You can name it anything. Forget the fact I'm using my name. I'm using train here. I'm using train. Like the variable means it can change. The name can change. Let us proceed because time is gradually going. Let us see how we can deal with. So after this class, probably by weekend, I'll send you guys a quiz on Google Form, more like an exam, right? Or what we have done. That will be your final rating.
Oh, we have
You
done.
give us reading material, Nico.
I will share that's why I said Saturday, or even next week. Let's do it next week.
No, okay.
Please share the reading material in advance, please. Can share the reading material this week. Then the test.
Yes, the reading materials. This sounds best.
So I was here. I was in min-max scalar.
Is it test? I thought that two people help us to do the boats.
Do report. You're supposed to do project now. That we can help you build it. We can help you do the
Are we
project.
doing the project or not?
You do the project.
How we are going to do the project?
Do the project.
When is the exam? We are not doing that today.
It's not official. If you only give us.
I'll give you exam now.
When is the individual lecture?
I didn't say the usual lecture.
So yeah, we just said scale our data into the range of zeros and what? 1, because we're looking at binary. So scalar is equal to min-max scalar feature underscore range 0, 1, right? That will now x string will now be equal to scalar dot fit transform what? X string. So whatever is in x string will be converted to what? Zeros and 1. So I don't have to start thinking. But now it is now going. It's no longer a data. It's no longer a data frame.
What is it
becomes
now?
a NumPy array.
Not high.
NumPy array. Becomes
Why?
an array.
Why should
That's what this thing, because when we are now going to plot it, we're not going to plot the data frame. You understand? When you want to plot in normal, if you have a table, right? If you have a table in normal, even in normal mathematics, you don't plot everything on the table now. You understand? You have to get some specific
the columns you want.
shape. Get. So how do we get those things? It's simply by, like in this case, we have to convert everything in that table to what? Zeros and ones.
Then how would the table look like? Zeros and
It won't be a table again. After that, it becomes a NumPy. If you're in the class yesterday, talked about NumPy. We saw array, we saw vectors. Understand?
When class.
I was not in class. We didn't understand.
You don't understand being not in class.
Yes.
So now I've now,
That's where it will appear.
this is what? This is a NumPy array.
Why?
Thank you. So this is a NumPy array, right? Let's look at the shape. Xtrain.shape. Let us see what it is. Can you see what it is there? Two, three. About charger for
I
this.
told you that they bought my own last time.
I will share the notes, Hajara. I will share the notes. Because I want to convert everything to PDF, because I noticed that on that platform, this notebook is not, you can't open it. So I'll convert everything to PDF again and I'll re-upload. But in the meantime, because of time, I'll put everything in a Google link and send to everybody. You already have some files now.
Yes, okay, everything on that.
So what I will do, I'll convert everything I've taught plus the one I've not taught. I'll just get a folder, upload it to my Google Drive, create a link, and then I'll share it on the group chat. I'll tell you to share it on the group chat so anybody can get the materials from there.
And it's only with your videos.
Videos, I don't have videos. It's just normal this thing.
That's the right of.
I don't have
You
time
should be reading.
I don't have time to make videos of myself.
So some of this, how do we get it?
The videos
Because as you're teaching.
on YouTube now, the videos are on YouTube now. I can download them and follow. Madam, we're not in an authoritarian society. We're in a democracy. Speak up. No, sit down. No, sit down, please. Speak.
Okay, sir. So, sir, please, I want to understand more. Permit me, I'm drawing back here. I want to understand what we are training and testing. Like, what exactly happened?
Well, artificial intelligence is quite diverse, I must say, right? I believe from the beginning, I don't know what they were. I noticed neural network and a few things, but what we're doing now is, I see, to be very good in math, to build, we are looking at building models with machine learning. Just like I use the example of ChatGPT, it's a product of very high computing using various algorithms. The code they used was to allow it to be able to predict certain things, right? Just like even in your, I believe even in your sometimes when you go to, if you're this is even on Gmail. I noticed something new yesterday on Gmail. I sent an email 5 days back, right? I sent an email 5 days back. Just yesterday, I got a prompt in my inbox telling me that you sent an email 5 days. That email was supposed to get a response. Sent an email 5 days back, but there's no. Please resend the email. You understand? That is just a typical example of what AI can do. And it started from what? Building simple models like this. Like I said, I might not teach you all because of time, but it takes determination and discipline. And you yourself, if you really want to, do you understand? If you really want to, you put in effort. Here you get. I mean, it's like that. What you basically do is how you can build models in what machine learning. And probably you can get to that point. Even spam detection in email, there are data sets on that, right? It's very simple. It's binary classification. When an email comes, is it a spam or not a spam? It's a binary classification. So if the algorithm reads it as a spam, it takes it to your what? Spam box. If not a spam, it goes to your what? Inbox. Those are just simple applications of what? Machine learning and these things.
Is it AI also helps to in categorizing your email?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Those are those examples. I said this one that I saw that they said they were telling me I sent an email how many days back. It's actually new to me. Well, I've never seen it before. You get it from the context. It's so that the content I put in that email warrants a response. But he said in 5 days time, he now sent me.
It has access to your
What does it have? What does it have here? I have access to. You understand? You know that just as long as
why you said that, I was thinking probably he looks at the message since it is from an individual to an individual, and then looks at it that okay, within a week or two, there will be a response.
no, and you know, just like I said, this thing studies behavior. There's another one that I did been we started this in early. I wish we had time. I wanted to show you there's another practical that studies customer behavior.
Customer segmentation.
Customer behavior, not segmentation. Behavior.
Your patterns.
The pattern. People could be like, this person, anytime he comes to the shop, he goes to the bread stand first before he goes and get this thing. Just customer behavior.
That's what's supposed so that you tell somebody that's a thief.
So it's not having an emotion.
Is there?
I will not say it has emotion.
Yes.
Well, AI.
Yes.
Well, that's why I said it depends on how you. AI could be emotional. If you're heartbroken now, I go and start telling. If you're heartbroken now, I go and start telling AI, this is what happened. AI will sympathize with you.
Yes.
If your father dies, you say, this is what I'm heartbroken. My father died. It will give you.
It must say something.
So this is how it starts from here. Just that there's a lady here. I don't see her anymore. She used to come. She met me and said that she didn't know this is what AI would take. She doesn't really understand it. I feel like the truth is you might not really understand it because it's actually something that you need to really open your head. Even if you want to learn AI by yourself, you just want to use the tool. And to God be the glory, there are so many tools we can use for AI, even the generative, even the GPT itself. Right? You can use it. I've used ChatGPT to generate code for certain things. You just generate the code. But the funny thing is that you now have to go back and study the code. Probably it's giving you what you want. Because on its own, if you allow it too intelligent, that it will give you answers that you don't even need.
It's not football. It's more confusion.
I remember when ChatGPT came, you give it a simply differential calculus problem. It will give you some certain things, something that you know that if I do like this, in 4 steps, you finish it. ChatGPT will give like maybe 3, 4, 5 steps that probably you now have to start studying and start.
I thought that they repented.
Yes, an important message goes to spam. You know, sometimes that's why I said spam classification can be in different form. If a message doesn't have a header, sometimes it might be detected as a spam. So that's like I said, those things, what the AI does is that it goes through that mail to let you know that is this thing important to you. If it's not important to you, good and fine, it will trash it, it will put it in spam for you.
So in building an exchange server, because this one you're talking about general server, exchange server for organizations. These are the things in your AI building for them, what you put in configure for them. Okay. That means I have the logic.
It's a subject of what you. It's the whole thing starts from you. You get. It's human beings that developed AI. It's human beings. Yet at the end of the day, they have made it in such a way that people are now dependent on it.
And that's what
That's the problem.
No, it works.
It's working.
It's working. You know, it's a problem.
It's a problem.
It's a problem to some. Depends on how you use it. Now, you know they encourage you to use AI in your work. Just imagine your work from that you are used to developing content. All these content creators on Instagram, right? Sometimes you don't. Sometimes you might not really be able to type complete content. All you have to do is that just if you just have
Just
an
give a little
idea,
brief of what you
have an
want.
idea. Okay, is it timer? Okay.
Oh, welcome, ma.
Good morning, ma.
Welcome, ma. It's your time. It's your time. Come on.
Yes, it's almost at time. If you have an idea of what you want to do, put on ChatGPT to structure it for you. Read it again. It's called what? Generative pre-training
And on AI.
GPT.
But-
Generative pre-process generative. Oh no,
No, no,
GPT.
no. In ChatGPT, it's called prompting.
Now I want to
You
tell.
write a prompt for them.
I'm trying to write a prompt for them. Yes.
So they'll from the prompt they guide you.
Generative pre-training transformers. That's what a GPT is. Generative pre-training. If you look at from that name alone, generative, it generates content or something for you. Pre-training is that the whatever you're telling it, it is something that it's using to train itself. You understand? That's all the idea behind it. Where were we?
We are here. Are we not here?
Hi, Omo. This there's also so like I said, probably what you do, right? Maybe your project. You just look at maybe spam detection. There's one for credit score, right? If you have a good credit score, whether they should assign a loan to you or not. So the target feature there is the credit score, right? Something like that. Before you apply for a loan, down to your father's name. Say again. Yeah? Credit score.
Yes, credit score.
So your credit score is not what they ask you. Do you know your credit score?
We don't even have credit score.
No, they say when you calculate, they know how to calculate your credit score. How do you calculate your credit score? They check from your income. Yes, they check from your income. They check your expenditure, cash flow, inflow and outflow from your account. Then they check whether you borrowed money before.
Like, highest money that you touch your account.
That's the cash flow by inflow and outflow. Then they check whether you borrowed money before.
Okay.
And if you borrowed money before, what time frame did you use to pay?
Pay back.
If you borrow money for 1 month, you paid in 1 week, your credit score will be high. If you borrow money in 1 month and you paid in 2 months, your credit score might not be that high, but you might have a credit score. So what your credit score basically does is whether you're credit worthy. So that specific data set is for your credit score. So I don't know. I've done all those things. Probably I'll share everything with you people because I feel our project should come from something like this since we have done this. But we feel I don't want us to start going far because we've not really done all those ones for computer vision, natural language processing because of all that. So what we have learned, we're trying to put our project in that, relate it to that. And the point is, these materials will help you because if you go through them, you know the libraries to import, you know how to read them into the notebook and all that. And like I said, please, after this class, let's not just stop there. In your spare time, we all have phones and earpiece. You could be in the car. Just that I won't advise that. Let them not carry you to Uber or Babalada if you want to stop at Uber. So just probably in your spare time when you're free, you could watch videos on YouTube. There are a whole lot of them. There are a lot of people you can follow. I mean, if you can even see. Come, let's just check something on YouTube.
Supposed to have project here.
3 minutes. Project expansion.
Oh, you know.
You know, I mean, famous projects. Let's.
The network is quite
Okay.
slow. All right. Okay. Let us continue. Right
Yes.
now, why I looked at the shape. Right, the shape is very important. If your X train, please keep in mind your X train doesn't have your bank account included. Remember, we took the bank account out from X train. That is because our Y train has now become our what? Bank account. Because we are plotting. This thing is more like what the machine does is that it's more like if you look at the X train and the Y train, what are we doing? What are we going against what? And to try and get them together. You understand?
Yeah.
Just like a graph now. Just like a graph. When you want to plot the y-axis is the main. In short, in the graph, the y-axis is the main thing. The x is not. It's just there because okay, let us see what's there. People that were born in 2014 to 2020 will be on your 2014 to 2020 will be on your x-axis. Then the ages will be here because our main feature is the ages. So 2016, if someone is this to put to mark, they will now come out. So what this algorithm does is that it does all those things for us. The moment we import it, right, it will do all those things, although we will not see it, it will not give us the result. Right? There are people that code it. There are people that can code this algorithm by themselves. They can even add certain things if they feel what they're writing is not doesn't make sense. They can add it. So let's look at X shape. And this is X shape, right? 23,524 to what? 30.
Is that floor? No, I decided from floor.
What's this now?
Listen, it's tripping off, but it's not your fault.
I'm exhausted. By this.
Oh, that is not. Okay, I get one. You do that. Okay, cost. Okay.
Lease agreement.
I know this thing. So that's the problem. So at the point, when you start aging, stand yourself. That's the point I have said. When you start-
We're almost done with this training.
Today's one.
No, we're almost done with with the
The whole thing.
Hold on, your friend.
model we're training.
I'm trying to find it anyway. Don't be reading.
They stress me.
So,
It's still sharing now.
So you know what they do. When they go to school, and you know that their times, there's maybe a time they share that. So what to do is try and download that video. And then they do you understand? This is okay, let me check this. Yeah, no, I want to find out where you are. Okay, let me go back. No, there's no one. All these ones, this is not videos. Like this one is chatbot. I want to see the videos. All of them have videos. Let me check. No, that's all the videos are here. This one. Let me check. I think they're Pakistan.
11:41.
We should go and make a case that most of our lectures are interrupted so that they should give us extension. I'm telling you.
Okay. So, like I said, what happened? Look at the X train. Look at the shape of X train, right? 23524,30. Now we should have the same, right? Let's see what other one we have. Okay, this is Y train. Let's look at the shape of Y train.
I told you I have to make a case for us. Make a case for us. You can make a case for us. We will just close now. Because half of the lectures, 90% are light.
Okay. Unfortunately, our light is just going on and off.
Well, since we are into machine learning and the rest, AI, we should find solution to that problem. Right, let us write a code that will save them. Teacher, they tell you, don't write a code to save them. Things are moving very fast. Somebody is against physics now and is succeeding. All that physics said was an opposite of his achievement. Even the body, International But for physics, they cannot give you a patent because it's against the law of nature. It's a Zambia, a Zimbabwe. All this right of is against law of physics. And they're trying to kill you.
Should we end the class? I think everybody is tired, right?
We are not tired, though.
I can see the class is rowdy now.
The light issue has disturbed the class. The class is no more interesting.
Now I think we should end the class. This is no longer.
So one thing in Africa, you always rely on what has been done. When I think after define atom, I think one of them is Rutherford comes. Brings investigation and when only thing to do that is like but in Africa, they always like to depend on the past. That's like they are given to you long time ago. There's always a change. But if assuming that this scenario is brought by someone from America, you have problem for the person.
The guy is ruling the world.
Because he's in Africa now, they will not they will appreciate his effort.
All right, please let's just look at this. So I want to show you something, right? Are we together? I want to show you something. If you look at xtrain.shape, we had what? 2, 3, 5, 2, 4 rows and what? 30 columns. Then look at ytrain.shape. What do we have here?
Only there's no column.
That shows that we can actually work with this, right? Not that there's no column. They're just the rows, right? Just it has only one column. That's one column now. One column, and then we have the same number of records. That means we actually have the same number of records in both. Understand? So it's actually good. Are you with me? Actually good.
Yes, the same record. So no percentage.
So now this is where we do our training and testing. It's advised that when we are working with it, we should train. We should divide our model, our data set into training and what? Testing. So we have xtrain and xval. Xtrain, that's what we're using to train. Xval or xtest, depends on what you call it. Right? You can call it xval or xtest. You understand?
So you see your test data in Excel.
Yes. Ytrain for training your Y, that's your bank account, right? Then yval. So can you see where that train _ test _ split comes in, right? We're going to split this xtrain, ytrain, stratify is equal to ytrain. Let's look at stratify.
How many questions? So I have a question on that last.
I don't want to check this stratify.
So we have xtrain, xval.
Mm-hmm.
So xtrain is where we save those code we worked on. That's we process code, right? Then xval, that's where we have the test data. Then ytrain, that's where we have our targeted variable. So yval, what's inside?
You like I said, you are training. Now this one, we did this thing twice. Our main data we split it into two.
Yes.
We are still training now, right? But in this same position, we are now telling it that, okay, this is what we use to train. You understand? And this is what we want to use to what? Test now. That's what we're doing here. So you get y x train x var, right? X train after we're training, whatever we are going to get as a value, it will go into what? X var. Then y train, right? Which is what we that is the target.
Yes.
That's what we're going to use to train.
Yes.
Y var is what we're going to use to what? Now test. When we're testing. Of we're testing, all this one is training we're doing.
Okay.
So if you look at this, they say test size is what here? 0.3. That's why using 30% to what? 3. That means we're using what? 70% to. We're using 30% to test, then 70% to train.
training.
It's 35 divided into smaller subgroups called strata, right? So what that means is that we're actually dividing
We're using reporter.
Y train. We're dividing Y train into smaller data, into smaller small sub data, to enable us to train. So here now, we're now going to bring our logistic regression, right? Logistic regression is equal to what logistic regression. This is where I'm now passing my what? Algorithm. You understand? Every year, price of houses go up. So the year against the price, that's a simple linear regression.
That's a straight line.
Now, another way to look at X train and X var in this situation, right, is that X train has been used to train. When you now come to predict, because we're going to predict the accuracy, when you now come to predict, you now use your X var to what? Predict. You understand? So basically, that's what it is. So here we're using logistic regression. So I'll introduce my logistic regression here, using this logistic regression, right? Then I'll now fit my X train and X var into my logistic regression, right? Then to predict it, I'll now use what? X var to what? Predict. I'll now say logistic regression dot predict X var. Then let us look at what it is. So,
See where you see. Where I see you first time, you don't come back again. Yeah, actually, there is a slash.
oh, there's light. Omo, this thing has, I'm already frustrated. Okay, so we are back here. Like I said, X train and X val, when it comes to you predicting, you use your X val, right? So we're going to pass X train and Y train into our fit.logistic regression. So let us run this and see. So this is what it looks like, right? This is our array. So let us get the score now. So look at our accuracy here. 0.8. But what that means that we can still do some pre-processing. In the pre-processing, what we're going to do, we can still do some processing. In the pre-processing, what we're going to do, we're still going to maybe drop some columns and drop some rows.
It's not the one they call hyperparameters.
Parameter tuning, yes. That's what we're doing here. Right? So we can now tune our parameters. That's what we just did. That's what I've just done in short. We tune our parameters into what we feel can make it accurate. Like I said, it could include dropping some rows, dropping some columns, right? Because I think I've converted everything to numerical here. So you can drop maybe some rows that are here, some features don't just fit.
And only there.
Don't just fit. So it's still giving us which I think 0.8 at this point, it didn't train that bad.
Because
It didn't train.
it's 8%.
It didn't train that bad. So let's look at what after training, the next thing to do is to test. Right? Is to test. So there, let's look at it. This is not the testing. Let's get our classification report and see. So from sklearn.metrics, import classification report. Let's see what it is. So this is our classification report. See our accuracy, right? Zero point 0.89. Right? Point 0.98, 0.35, F1 score and all this. Look at our accuracy here. Table. Well, I don't know. I'll have to check this support too. Maybe with time. Maybe you guys can look at it. You guys still are teachers in your own right now.
I'm going to get this code.
I'll put everything in a link and send. That's the best.
So that we will really not lose.
Well,
So
before we do that, before we go, I will send everything to my Google Drive. Create a link before, as long as I'm not on the group, so I'll send it to the lady on the group.
Let's give you our
not even
Or your email address. But
let's have your own. I'll message you.
not only that, if you can do it and we copy it as we did the right day.
the point I don't want us to copy. I want it to be like even tomorrow, even if you change your computer,
Okay, can be on the next
it's
one.
that's what I want to do.
Just give us your email.
So if you send you the
We'll share on the group.
share.
Aha, beautiful. This is my email address. This is my email. Oh no, there's no one. No, sorry. I'm mixing my two emails. There's no one.
How to message you now?
So message me. I'll create the link, before we leave this class, and I'll share so that at least everybody can get it.
Let me see. Let me see.
So having done that, the next thing to do is to test our data using our test data set. Is that okay?
Yes.
Using our test data set. So here they say get the outcome with the test data set. Now the test data set, we're almost going to do the same thing that we've done with the train data set. Nothing much, right? So this one now, I'm still going to convert my test data to label encoder, right? So we did it here now. Can you remember? Label encoder and one more encoding. I'll run it. Right? Then I'll still run my scalar marks. Let me print my test. So that's my test. My predictions. I print my predictions. Sets. I read my test data set before. You know how to read it now. You know how to read your data set into Jupyter Notebook.
Yes.
That was what I just did here. Print my test.head. So now this is what I want to show you. Everything is the same. Don't mind. It's more like now. This is what.
Data sets before.
We have done all that. Yeah. So I just want to do the test, right? What I just did with the test is this. Like I told you, the test still has features like the training. So you have to convert it to how the training looked like when we finish training.
Oh, okay.
So we're still going to use label encoder and one hot encoding, which I did. What's all this now?
When the thing is connecting, the thing is just the enter. Come from what? Then they say they can't get us.
So those online, I believe you have seen my email, right?
Yes.
You can send me a message.
I sent a message.
This Two-Face is serious. Oh.
It's proposed to Natasha
Yeah, problem.
and come they spend money on Natasha.
But they've not finalized the divorce with the other lady now.
Did they marry in court?
Ibrahim, you have sent me.
Yes.
Yeah, you were online yesterday now. Is it today?
This morning. There was this morning.
Yeah. All right. So I will send them. I'll before we go.
Let me-
So I hope everybody got my email.
I have not written your email. Don't worry.
See my email here. This one. This is my email.
Wait. Did you copy it? You know when we talk about artificial intelligence,
This is my email.
this is come. Anytime, all that come across now on your YouTube, if you're searching for something else, artificial intelligence comes up. That is AI because it has trained your way of your features, whatever you're doing.
Another way, like me, I want to show you my YouTube. I think you open my YouTube. I think my YouTube opened. Okay, I think it will open. Idea share. You're killing me. AJ EQ TDIW. So that's my email there. If you've not Ekwerikpe Esebo. It's my complete name. Yeah, I pride myself with my name. If you look at my YouTube, because of the activities on YouTube. Now this is our course now because I'm following it. Yesterday, I was looking at dashboard creation with Excel. Now can you see? Then I used to watch my flatmate very well. I like watching it. So can you see here, I don't know. Also, I don't know where they came from. I don't know where it came from. All this one, this is channels. I watch channels. All these ones are then my flatmates. So just I like rap a lot. So I know that. So because of
This is the AI.
so the AI has already understood my tastes. It's captured. So are you done with the email? Should I proceed? Can you imagine? I'm charging my phone. I didn't on. I'm charging my phone. I didn't on the socket. Okay, so like I said, we are going to do the same thing with the test, right?
Manually.
The way you did it, you can all they have to do, go and copy the code from the train, right? Then change the train. Anywhere you see train, change it to what? Test. So after doing that, this is my test. I see running through my scalar. This is my outcome for my test, right? This is the outcome for my prediction. Look at my prediction here, right? So now, I will now still bring in another variable because I want to get the format that they want me to do. They say my submission should be what? Unique ID, right? Times what? The country, then bank account. So see what it is here. My prediction, see my predictions here. People that have bank accounts. So this is how I'm going to write the code. Submission should be equal to what? pd.data frame, right? I'm creating a data frame now. Then unique ID from test 2, which is my table, right? Then I'll now get the unique ID from that table. That's what this thing is doing. Unique ID. What is this one called? Curly bracket. What is it called? Data type that has curly brackets. What is it called?
Is it top?
That would be.
Colorless.
That would be.
Data type that has curly bracket. Don't tell me you've forgotten.
And that's dictionary.
Dictionary. Well done, sir. So this is a dictionary. Why is it dictionary? Because it's a key value mapping. They said they want unique ID times what? Country, right? So unique ID will be, the content will be what? The table here, new data frame is called test 2, right? So test 2, then I want the what? Unique ID. So it will capture that one and save in what? Unique ID for me. Then plus, I'm concatenating, plus X, which is my times, right? Then plus test 2 country, because I want it to be what? Unique ID times what? Country. Then comma, bank account should be my what? Predictions, which is this. So when I run this, then I now print my submission.head. Can you see? That's all we have there. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So now you see what we have here, right? You can run it through any system. If they had a system, now whereby we tell them that okay, people in this community are more banked than people in what? This community. So I can now submit it. I can now convert it to what? CSV. Submission to CSV. I can now call it maybe SUB. Now run this. So this thing now, this code I just ran, it saved this specific file in my computer. Let me show you. Can you see it here? Can you see it here? So it saved it for me. So let's open it and see.
This is what I want.
To look at it here. That's how it looks like. So you already have this saved already. Unique ID.
Okay,
Yeah.
so this model we just created now.
Yeah.
Can it be deployed? Or say
Yes, it can be deployed. It can be deployed. All right, you know how to physically deploy it on now. You can be deployed. This code, all the code you just wrote can be deployed.
You said you don't have a system to deploy it.
Although right now I don't have a system to deploy it on, but we can always look at something like that. This class doesn't end here now. I mean, at least you have my mails now. We can reach out. We can see how we can make things work. Understand? Like I
Is there
said,
a specific computational power for this kind of stuff.
Computational power.
Yeah.
Well, no, this like this code so far are not probably. Let's say, for example, now